Welcome back to Just Kampers and Project 2022. So this is our final part of our van conversion. Today we're going to fit our water and our gas. So we've got water tanks here. We've got a fresh water tank that's going to go into the back. We've got a waste water tank there. We've got our little magical tap that we're going to install. So that's going to go into our hob unit that we've already installed. So over here we have a hob and sink. Really easy to install. Our worktop was already cut out to receive our hob and sink combo. Now there are a couple of ways of fixing this. The screws can go through straight down into the top of the wood of our worktop, or you use a clip underneath which pulls up against the worktop underneath, which is fairly straightforward, which is what we've done with this. So the first part is we're going to install our pump and our wiring, so I'll show you that first, and then we can get our tanks in. So this is our water pump, and it submerges into our fresh water tank here and delivers our water straight up to our tap. Now as you can see, I've already installed our pipe, quite easy, and then a little clip on here to keep the pipe on. This is our wiring. Now I've extended the wiring up to obviously go to our feed that comes into the other side of our unit. It doesn't matter actually which way round you wire this up. The positive and negative can be either way. The pump still runs the correct way and pumps the water up towards the tank. So as you can see, I've cut a hole. We've got our holes here for allowing our pipe to come through and allowing our wiring to come through. So once this is screwed in place, you can put a little bit of seal around the top there as well, and that will seal up and stop any water overflow. So the idea is, literally, we submerge our pump into our tank full of water. Obviously I've left enough room to be able to slide our tank out and take our pump out. And this will slide back into position, and we'll have a strap that will strap that into position in the back there to keep it from moving around. And that's your fresh water supply in the back. So every time you want to top it up, you just pull it out and go and top it up. So this is our lovely little tap. As you can see, it's got two wires here. There's a micro switch in this handle, so when we push the tap on, it runs our pump and then brings our water up through to here. So really easy installation. Just pull the plastic nut off. There's two washers. So the bigger black washer goes underneath on the nut from the underside, and we've got a smaller washer here, and what that does is just seal up the top. So in we go into our hob and sink unit. Literally feed it in like so, and I'll go underside and get our nut on. So the wiring for our water pump's really simple. We'd already run a 2-core earth and supply feed from our fuse box in the earlier video. So we have our live feed that comes up and goes straight to our pump in the rear, and then the earth back from the pump comes to our little micro switch, and the earth from the fuse box then joins to that micro switch as well. So we're make and break in the earth side of the circuit. Really simple. So this is our waste unit here. This goes underneath our sink. We've got a little rubber gasket that goes in between, and obviously our bit for our plug hole that screws in from the top. I've pushed our pipe on. This is our flexible waste hose pipe. As you can see, it's ribbed so it doesn't crush, so it stays a nice round shape all the way wherever you go with it. And this is just going to go into our waste bucket here. The top I've actually drilled a hole through. I drilled that through about 21mm, and you can actually screw it onto this waste pipe, so it makes a good seal. So again, I've cut it to the right length, so what I want to do is be able to bring my waste bucket out from underneath to then undo it and take it out with minimum fuss. So that is our waste bucket there. Screw the lid back on. That can go underneath there, and we'll put a strap around that as well. All wired up, water in our system. Let's test our tap. A little switch. Look at that. Excellent. Turn them off. The other thing we need to test is to make sure our waste works. So I'm going to pull the plug. Perfect. Water installed. Onto our gas part of our installation. First thing we need to do is put a vent in the floor. So if we do get any leakage from our gas cylinder or from the back of our hob, the gas is heavier than air, will actually fall through the floor and not fill the cab inside. So the first thing we did was drill a hole with a hole saw. So this is the right size hole saw for our vent. As you can see, this vent goes right the way through the floor, through our wooden floor and actually through the floor of the van. Now to determine the position of that, it's a good idea to start from underneath. I knew roughly that we were in the middle of that second pane of glass is where we wanted to be within our cab, for our cabinet for our gas. So I went underside and had a look basically drilled up from underneath where I wanted to start and made sure I had enough room underside to be able to fit this all the way through, and then drill from the top using our hole saw. That's how we've ended up with the hole where it is. So that's bang in the middle of where I want it actually. So our gas cupboard is going to fit to the left and our wastewater will go to the right. So it's absolutely perfect. So now we'll screw that in place, get that bit done. So this is our gas locker, which our gas bottle is going to fit into. And the idea of this is that once the gas bottle's inside the locker and our front's on, it's completely sealed up. So if there was any leak inside, it would stay inside the cab into here. In the back there you can see we've got a one-way valve and regulator here, which goes to our gas bottle, and then our hard line comes in through the side and joins in here, and then that goes off to your hob. Very simple. Obviously it's a little bit tricky because it's hard line, so we'll have to manipulate it and bend it and get that right. So the first thing we're going to do is secure our gas locker. And I'm going to secure it to the left onto the floor and make sure it's sealed. We've got enough pipe here to be able to remove our gas cylinder whenever we want to change our gas cylinder. So quite easily I'll show you how it all fits together. So this is just the cap off the top of the gas container. So this is our on-off switch basically. This is our valve that sits on top. So we can wind him on nice and tight. There is a rubber seal as well, so that seals it. And then we can control our flow on and off from here. This fits on here. This is a left-hand thread, so it goes the other way. We do have a spanner in the kit, so we can tighten up our connection like so. And then quite simply that fits into our gas locker. And then there's a strap in there that straps it in place. And we can basically turn the gas on and off from here. And then the locker front goes on, everything's contained. But first thing, let's get this screwed down to the floor. I've drilled 4 holes in the bottom of our locker. Yes, I know it's gas sealed, it's gas tight, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of seal around our heads of our screws when they go in, so it stays sealed. I've done these to about 4.5mm, so our fixing screws fit through without actually being screwed in, he says. So they fit through. Then I've marked the corresponding holes on the floor and drilled the floor holes to a 3.2 size, which is the correct size for our screws we're going to be using. So we'll go through our floor and then we'll go into the floor of the van as well, and that will secure this in place. So let's get it screwed in, and with a little bit of sealer on the heads. So the next part is to get our copper line from our gas regulator up to our hob. Now obviously this is quite stiff, this pipe, and you don't want to keep working it because you will end up stiffening the pipe and you won't be able to bend it. So that comes in the kit, so we've gently unreeled that. And then what I've used is a piece of wire. Now I've used a piece of wire so I can get an idea on length of copper pipe that I need. So I've gone from our regulator up through to our location, which is behind the hob there. And that's roughly the size I want. So I'm going to allow us a little bit extra. So I've marked that on my pipe already, and I'm going to cut that off now. So we've finished our gas install. We've got the pipe in, we've got our gas locker in and our gas bottle in place. Let's check it out. Our gas locker secured to the floor, and our copper pipe comes through the side of the gas locker into the regulator that's built into our gas locker. Then we took the pipe up and over up to our hob, and it's an olive fitting, so it's a compression olive fitting there, nice and easy. The final test to make sure it works, let's see if we can make a cup of tea. Would you look at that? That's our gas and water installation complete. To see more of Project 2022, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, or check us out at justkampers.com.